Okay guys, so it's a bit windy today, but let's start by doing a bit of a walk around and show you about the car. So first of all, isn't she a stunner? I've always liked the look of the CHR, I really have. I think it looks awesome. So this one being the GR Sport version, and what's different? So they've lowered it 10% on the front, 15% on the rear as far as I can see. So it looks quite nice and squat there. And at the front you've got these dark tinted LED headlamps, which I think look the part. They look really nice. Definitely differentiates it from the other models. You also get those proper LED fog lights on there as well. And the front bumper, although not quite full GR like the GR Yaris, but it's definitely mimicking that car. So it looks very similar with the vents at the side, although these ones actually house the parking sensors for this car. What you do get is that kind of dark shadow finish on there. If you can see in the middle of the grille there, you've got that lovely silver and dark chrome effect on there, and it looks really, really nice. Very sharp. Side profile of the car then, it looks very squat and very compact, but it's actually surprisingly spacious in there, and we'll go through the inside in a minute. Wheel-wise, you've got these absolutely lovely black machine-faced 19-inch alloy wheels, and it really completes the GR look of the car. So from the side I think it looks absolutely awesome. It's very squat with that lower suspension and the bigger wheel combination, and this one's got the dark metallic grey and the dark roof as well, so you've got what they call the bi-colour finish on there, and I think it really sets it off. It looks the absolute ticket. You've got beautiful lights on the back as well. Also these are full LED rear sensors of course, and then you've got the GR badging at the back. You've got a slightly chunkier rear bumper as well. Hopefully you can pick that up and see, but yeah, it looks really, really nice. Boot is easily accessed from here, and it's actually pretty big, so just over 450 litres there, but you can actually expand it and make it absolutely huge. I've pre-recorded it so you can have a look as we're talking here, but you can take this out and you can fold the seats down. So if you've got a kind of active lifestyle, you want to put bikes in the back or anything large, you can do that, no problem whatsoever. You can also get a load leveler here, which this one doesn't have. You can make the load tray there a bit more level for when you've got the seats down. But yeah, absolutely awesome. So very smart from the outside. Let's take a look at the inside. We'll go through space, comfort, and then the technology. Okay then guys, so let's talk about the interior of the car. Firstly, I'm quite a tall guy, and getting in was pretty straightforward actually. I did need to lower the seat to kind of get it where I needed it to be, but once you've got it kind of set where you want, it's actually perfect. Really nice. So I'm already quite a big fan of the Toyota interiors. I think they are very well put together and well designed, and also very comfortable. The seats are always very comfortable, and don't just take my word for it, try them out. So talking about the seats on this car, because it's a bit different from the others, and I'm going to do some cuts to it as we go because it kind of makes life a little bit easier for you to see it. But these ones have got the sportier bolstered and GR liveried racing type seats in here as well. So yeah, just finishing about the seats then, nice and comfortable. And I just want to show you something. So this is me sitting in the car. I've got it where I want it to be, and I'm 6'4" and quite a big guy, as you know anyway. Look, it's a little bit snug, but actually it's very comfortable still. I've got plenty of room, got loads of room for my legs as well, and there's still room in the back, which we'll cut to in a second as well, even with my seat being where I need it to be. So that's definitely a plus. In terms of the rear seats then and spacing, I'm probably going to do another cut to it because it'll be far easier for you to see it, but in the cuts the seat is actually where I need it to be, and there's still a fair bit of room in there, although because of the nature of the design of the car where you've got that kind of sloping roof, yeah, I do, being honest, taller people might struggle a little bit in the back, but then again, it's probably not designed to be a massive family kind of lugger of equipment. This is kind of an active lifestyle, perhaps smaller family type vehicle, and I think it does that job incredibly well. It's very spacious in the back there for the most part. It's very comfortable as well. It's a nice place to be. It's a little bit dark perhaps just because of the way you've got those massive C-pillars there, but access is good, and for families wanting to know, you've got ISOFIX seating fitments in there as well, so yeah, no problem whatsoever. On the side doors, hopefully you can see there, you've got a lovely bit of diamond detailing, piano black finish there for the controls. Storage wise, just go on to that quickly, down here, push the button there. Although that's chock-a-block full of stuff, you've got quite a big space in there actually. Got a nice bit of storage on the doors there, and they do flex, I think deliberately, so you can kind of get bigger bottles in there. Just down here, we've got a bit more storage there and a charging point, which is also useful. Down here then, so there's not a huge amount of buttons to mess around with, to be honest with you. You've got charging point down here, and you've got somewhere to kind of store your phone, which is quite handy. Massive, and I do mean massive, pocket there for a water bottle or a cup or something, but that is cavernous, if you can see that. You know, it's deep as well, you've got plenty of room. You've got another one down here, and you've got this little removable gadget here as well. So again, you can fit a massive bottle in there, no problem whatsoever. They really thought about that. Down here on the control side of things then, it is full auto. We'll go into that in a minute, but you've got your usual park, reverse, neutral, drive, of course, there. You've got your automatic handbrake, you've got traction control button off, auto hold, and full EV mode. Control wise, let's just cover that off before we go into a bit of tech then. So over here, you've got your usual electric mirrors there, folding as well. These are heated, and all of that comes as standard, even on the very base model. So that's really nice to know. Lovely bit of detailing, like we mentioned there, electric windows front and rear. And then multifunction steering wheel. Now on the GR, this one's a little bit different. So you've got the perforated leather there with red detailing across this, the stitching. And that kind of reminds me of GTIs of old actually. So it's quite nice. It's not one of those massively thick steering wheels either, so it's very comfortable. But it is multifunctional, and you can connect your phone, no problem at all. You've got your voice activation, audio controls and skipping, even switching between modes, that's very easy. Your trip computer, obviously you've got your hat here for going through the systems. I'll show you a bit of that in a minute in some of the cuts. Lane assistance, you've got your cruise control speed limiting, and your parking sensor activation. Down here you've got your full cruise control stick as well, so you can amend that and adjust it on the fly. Over here you've got your wipers as usual, front, rear, speeds and washers. And on this side, this is where you've got your lighting. You put it in full auto because it has got full auto sensing, even on the base model. But you've got your high beam, low beam indicators, fogs, you name it, as standard. Right, coming onto the main screen then here, if we just activate the car, you get a nice bit of GR detailing as it comes on, which is pretty cool. This is Toyota's Touch 2 system there, and it's very easy to use. I think it's great. And something to bear in mind, even on the base model, the Icon, you get Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because although this model has got nav on there because it's based off of the design model, I would say Apple CarPlay, Android Auto is a slightly better system, and you can kind of set that from home on the home's Wi-Fi, get your destination. As soon as you come here, plug your phone in, get it paired, and it's just going to carry on as normal. So that's very cool. And it is touchscreen, which is very cool. So yeah, you can just kind of drag it around and set your destination. Got all your buttons as usual over here. So you've got your home, menu, audio, maps, and your power, all your channels, tracks, etc. You can pair your phones to it, no problem whatsoever. Have Bluetooth. You've got the auxiliary down there through USB, so you can also play it that way if you want to and charge at the same time. Coming on to the controls here then, so it's very nice and neat in the Toyotas. I really like the way that they do it. So you've got dual zone climate control, and it's hidden very nicely up and down for your temperature, eco modes, AC, dual, recirculation, you name it, all of your heater controls, and heated seats are just here as well, so you can just push these on. We don't do steaks, it's nice and toasty. The air conditioning is lovely in here. I think it works really, really well. Speaker system on this model, this is a 6-speaker system. You can go for the optional JBL, and you kind of get some nicer speakers up there, and I believe it comes with 2 subwoofers as well. I think for the most part the sound system's good. If you're really invested in this car and it's something you really like, I probably would go for the JBL personally, but that's entirely up to you. Something I really like over here, so you've got your GR start button. Again, it's just a bit of detailing, and although this isn't the 4-wheel drive turbocharged monster of the Yaris, it kind of feels quite similar, and it should do as well because it's all part of the family. So in terms of the GR group now, you've got the Corolla, you've got the Yaris, you've got the Supra of course, and now we've got the CHR in this livery here. So in here then, I mentioned I'd cover some of this. You can just select through your multifunction computer on here with these buttons. Nice and easy, really easy to scroll through. Personally, I quite like just having the digital speedometer in there as well. It's just easy at a glance, you don't have to look at anything. But down here you've got your fuel gauge as well, normal speedometer, and over here we've got the vehicle charging. So we've got the eco zone there on full charge regeneration through the braking, and just the power meter as well. You get pretty much electric everything as standard, whereas on a lot of other manufacturers you still have to pay for things like auto dimming mirrors or electric folding mirrors on there as well, and you get a lot of that on this car as standard. You even on this car as well get the rear cross traffic detection system. So if you are reversing back and there is traffic coming across you, it can stop the car for safety, and that's combined with the reversing camera on this car as well and parking sensors. I'm just going to show you that as well for a second. So if I just put it into reverse, there we go, hopefully you can see that. So we've got a lovely view of the camera there. It covers the whole screen, so it's nice and easy. You also get a detection system as well for lanes and traffic, so it will pop up and give you notifications. I think the car is superb. Yeah, very well equipped. There's not a lot I'd add to it other than the JBL. So what's next? Let's take it for a drive. So you push the button to start down there, foot on the brake, everything kind of comes to life. There we go. Happy days. Right, let's go. It's just so deadly quiet in here. Oh, these bumps look monstrous. Right, hold on. There we go. Oh, these roads are amazing. Lovely and clear. So it pulls off really easily actually. It's no problem at all in terms of acceleration. It's only 40 down here and that's 40. So yeah, very swift and easy to kind of get going. Now, engine range, Toyota have kept it very easy for you here. There's two to choose from and they're both at hybrid petrol. So you've got a 1.8 litre 16 valve dual overhead cam and that produces 122 horsepower, and that's what this car is. And I've driven it around a bit today already, and to be fair, I think for the most part I can't really think of many reasons why you'd want to go much faster than this. The other option then is the 2 litre, and it's also dual overhead cam 16 valve, both of which are hybrid powered as well, but that produces 184 horsepower. Now, economy wise, they're both going to be much of a muchness, but having not driven a 2 litre, I can't compare it, but I'm assuming if you want to get that kind of sportier vibe, another 60 horsepower is probably going to really help you out there. But this is not sluggish at all. In terms of fully legal and normal driving conditions, this is great. You know, it pulls away effortlessly, really. Loads of torque there. So economy wise, combined, you're looking at around 55, and on a long run you can easily get, from what I've been told and seen, over 90 miles per gallon. I would imagine you can get a sane amount of economy if you put cruise control on and have everything kind of managed for economy mode. But yeah, overall it should be superb. You're going to get a massive range out of it. If you go for the 2 litre, it's not going to make much difference really. It's a few miles per gallon difference in terms of less, but you get an extra 60 horsepower, so a bit of a trade-off there. If you're going to go for the sporty vibe, I would totally get why you'd want to go for the 2 litre engine. So in terms of the driving position then, I think it's great. You know, it really wraps around you quite nicely. The steering wheel being that kind of perforated leather that I mentioned, it's nice and sporty, it feels good. It's not chunky, it's not like too chunky. It feels, you know, sporty. It's not like a super skinny wheel, but it's not BMW M type wheels where they're really chunky. So it feels great. I think a lot of people would get on with this quite well. Visibility wise, yeah, it's superb. You know, you can see everything really easily, and I must admit, going into this review, I had a feeling that you wouldn't be able to see very much out of the back. I was completely wrong about that. You can see out of the back easily on this car, and I mean easily. And they've really designed that rear view mirror, which is auto dimming by the way, and it just gives you a perfect view. So nothing is really obscured too much. The only slight critique is the C-pillar, which we'll kind of cut to in a minute. I mentioned that from the rear part of the car review. Yeah, it's a bit chunky. It's part of the car's design, I guess. But other than that, I'd say the visibility is great. The rear view mirrors are perfect. They're not too big, nice and slim design. They look good. They're functional. Of course, I mentioned they're heated as well. So yeah, absolutely spot on. So overall comfort of the seat then, I would say for a tall person, and I am tall, I'm 6'4", and I'm quite a big guy as well, chunky. It's very good. The comfort's great actually. The seats in Toyotas these days, and they probably always have been to be fair, but they are a bit of a cut above the rest on average, I would say. I think they seem to cater for bigger drivers, I think. I'm not saying they're aimed at big people, but they're just comfortable. Whereas what I mean by that is some car manufacturers, unless you perhaps are of a smaller build, you might struggle. So these are kind of, you know, great. They're very comfortable. For tall people, you've got plenty of room. You don't feel like your shoulders are being squished in or anything. Supportive for your legs. I've got plenty of leg room. Now, I probably could put the seat back a bit further, but what I wanted to do was show you an actual driving position, and I am comfortable here, very comfortable. I could still have passengers in the back, which I was a bit surprised about, because there are some cars that I reviewed in the past where if I put my seat back to where it needs to be, no one's going to get in behind me unless they're very, very small. So yeah, it's still functional, got room in the back. So yeah, comfort wise, really, really good. We'll do a bit of cornering and handling to come as well, but we're going to come onto a town section. So I just wanted to talk to you about some of the features that this car's got. So it's got a raft of safety features. Of course, you've got airbags all around and ABS and traction control like most cars have these days. But the Toyotas also come with pedestrian collision detection systems as well. And that works in day and night mode, whereas some manufacturers, even if they have them, are only like a day mode. So this is day and night. And that's really awesome because, you know, where you've got people around, you've got obviously kids running out, you've got bikes, it helps with that kind of thing because, you know, we all lead busy lifestyles, and if maybe someone distracted you for a millisecond and you weren't looking, these kind of systems might help you prevent something which could be life-changing for everybody. So, you know, it's great to have, it's a good feature. The other thing that I mentioned as well, in addition to having that reversing camera, which is very cool, you get the cross traffic detection system from the back. So if you're reversing backwards and something's going across you, the car can detect that and actually stop you from going into it. It actually has an auto braking feature, which is pretty cool. So again, it stops you from doing something a bit silly, or if you weren't paying attention, you didn't see something that was there when you're reversing, it will stop you from banging the back of the car, which is good to know. So that works with the sensors front and rear. You've also got the adaptive cruise control on this car as well, which is very cool. Definitely a must-have for the longer journeys. So yeah, overall, it's kind of brimming with technology, really. It's kind of quite surprising. We're just going to do a tiny, very quick, sneaky reversing manoeuvre here, actually, as well. So just while we can, whack it into reverse there. I'm just going to go onto this driveway. And there we go. Nice and easy. So the car warnings come up on the side there just to let me know that car was coming. So we won't stay here, but I just wanted to show you the camera and everything kind of working there, all the systems coming into play. Right, now we've pulled away in full EV mode, which is very quiet, I might say. It's kind of whisper quiet in here, in fact, but we always come down this route for this very reason here. These bumps that we've got. Now, these are the famous Maresfield bumps, if you like. They're quite brutal, but even this car with its enhanced GR suspension, which has been lowered and stiffened a bit, I believe, as well, it handles it like a champ. I mean, literally no problem whatsoever. A few cars I've taken through here either a bit bouncy sometimes, or they can just literally, you know, chip teeth when you go over these things. This just kind of, actually, it was no hassle for it whatsoever. So yeah, very smooth. So don't think if you go for this GR Sport version that it's going to be uncomfortable, because it really isn't. I mean, I'm not kind of going super slow over these, and it still kind of eats it up, no drama whatsoever. So comfort wise, yeah, spot on. Town driving, really good. Creature comforts and technology, absolutely awesome. Just down here, we're going to take it onto a slightly faster road. It's going to give you a little bit of acceleration and give you a feel for how the gearbox works on here, because this is full auto and full auto only. There is no manual option. It's a CVT rather than a DSG box or anything like that these days, but it's actually really smooth, and I mean really smooth. It's super smooth, this box. And the transition between hybrid and petrol engine, you cannot tell, and I honestly mean that, you cannot tell. I urge you to go and drive one of these if you're even a little bit curious about how they are and how they work or what they are. It is superb. These are very, very smooth, very well engineered. Toyota have been doing this for a long, long time, and they have absolutely nailed it. You get great economy, you get good performance. The overall drive is very, very smooth. It is very, very comfortable in here. You've got a great amount of technology. So yeah, I think it's an absolutely fantastic package. There's always going to be offers on and deals to be done as well. So if you speak to your dealer and have a bit of a shop around at the same time, you'll make sure you get a great deal. I can highly recommend SLN Toyota, and they've won various awards as well for their service. They are absolutely brilliant. So details for Amber and the team are going to be in the description on this video. So you can always have a click on there and drop Amber an email if you want to as well. But I'm just going to put my foot down a little bit then. So it's only a 60, and there we are. We've hit it pretty much straight away. And this is the 1.8 litre, and it's a VVTi engine, 122 horsepower. But overall, yeah, I would say performance in this is great. They've put a lot of effort into the sound damping on this car as well, because It's not a massive car, and I sometimes find that in smaller cars it can get a bit noisy at speed, but actually in this car it's great. You know, it's very comfortable, it's very quiet in here, very quiet. In fact, we'll just give it a bit more acceleration down here again in a second. I think the Ford Fiesta and the Mercedes are having a bit of a race. Looks like the Mercedes won. But yeah, foot down again, and there's 60, right? So it really wasn't a struggle. So just to go through the figures again, the 1.8 is 122 horsepower, 0 to 60 is 11 seconds on the nose. The 2 litre is 184 horsepower, and that's just over 8. I think it's 8.2 to 60, which is pretty good, to be fair. I mean, you know, it's going to give you that kind of sportier vibe, but you are going to get very good economy, because if you look at the very sporty cars like the GR Yaris, although that is absolutely incredible in terms of its performance, you're looking at mid-20s, 30s if you're going to be averaging that car when you're putting your foot down, because it's a performance car and because it's four-wheel drive. So with this, you're going to get a great mixture of performance, economy, creature comforts, physical comfort as well. So yeah, overall I think it's a fantastic blend. Really, really good. I've had the car now for a few hours, and my conclusion about who this car might be aimed at, and it's really just my opinion, but bearing in mind you've got the Corolla underneath this in terms of its size, and then you've got the RAV4 above it in terms of size, I think this car is probably best suited to sporty couples that might want to chuck bikes or other bits in the back, because it's very good for that, or younger, smaller families where, you know, they don't want a massive car just yet, but they want something which is functional and fun and, you know, not too small. This car kind of ticks that box. I think for bigger families, you might want to go up to the RAV4, if I'm honest with you, or if you've got very big families, you might want to look at the new Highlander, which we're going to be doing a review on very soon. Equally well, you know, if you don't need that kind of SUV cross type switchover, you can go for the Corolla. So yeah, really awesome. That EV, when it kicks in, is so eerie because it's just silent. I mean, you don't hear anything at all. In fact, I think the car has to put out a sound on the outside just to kind of let people know, but on the inside, yeah, it's deadly quiet. Just something to mention as well, because the way this kind of works, it regenerates the charge, if you like, the battery from a few different ways, but the brakes is one of the big ones. Now, you've probably seen it mentioned in other videos as well. The brakes at times, when it switches between engine braking and physical braking to do that kind of recharge, it can just be slightly more forceful braking than you might have imagined, but you very quickly get used to it. So it's just one of those things where you just adapt to the pedal. But overall, yeah, superb. The brakes are very good, by the way, and I mean very, very good. You got discs all round, so superb braking. Handling was brilliant as well. So, you know, it's very responsive. It feels very light, this car. Great for a long journey, very quiet as well. So overall, to summarize then, guys, I would say it's a great package. At the end of the day, everything is subjective, so definitely get yourself down to a dealer, do a test drive if you're interested. All of the details for Amber and the team and SLM Toyota are in the description on this video, and you can even take out this very car as well. But yeah, get yourself down there, see what you think, try them out. But I think overall it's a fantastic car. It's very comfortable, very impressed. So that brings us to the end of the review, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and if you like the video, give it a thumbs up as well, because that really helps to support the channel. We've got loads coming up in the pipeline. We've got more Toyotas coming. We've got some really big dealer announcements as well. Lockdowns have kind of hindered things a little bit, as you might imagine, over the last few weeks, but we have got a ton of stuff. Loads of new dealers, loads of new ones in the last couple of weeks that have come on board, in fact, as well. So stay tuned, and I really appreciate all of your support. And as always, stay safe, have fun, and I'll see you on the next one.